my name is Karen Arthurton, and I am what's known as a sessional instructor with Ryerson University in the social work department. Sorry.
My name is Bridget Sinclair, and I manage the youth services here at St. Stephen's. So St. Stephen's is a very large multi-service agency, so we have lots of different departments. For us, any kind of research that we do with any of our groups of young people, it's really critical that they are involved at the onset of the project and that they are heavily involved in not only doing the research but being the experts in the experience.
So my name's Tara. I'm one of the researchers as part of the participatory action research we're doing with S.O.S.
My name is Lydia, and I am a researcher on the Supporting Our Sisters program with St. Stephen's Community House and Ryerson University.
We collaborated with Ryerson on this initiative for a couple of different reasons. One, that Ryerson's anti-oppression focus, it fits well with the work that they're focusing on within their social work department and the work that we focus on the ground.
The basis of this research is rooted in a great passion to have academia meet community, to have the expert voices of girls and young women infused in research.
S.O.S stands for Supporting Our Sisters. This is a research initiative that looks at a specific demographic of young women and their experiences with sexual violence and sexual exploitation.
This specific research, we're looking at the needs of young women who identify as racialized, who live in low socioeconomic backgrounds, because that was part of the phenomenon and the trend that St. Stephen's House was seeing prior to applying for this funding. And that's not to say that all young women are not impacted by this, because they are.
And so we're really looking at, we know where some of the highest numbers of young women are that are experiencing sexual violence, and we also know that some of the numbers of them accessing support services are the lowest. And so it's really focusing on the service gaps around how do we best address our most vulnerable young women in terms of sexual violence.
So we're going to conduct this research through focus groups and interviews. We really want to get a qualitative understanding of young women's experiences and hear their stories.
So what are their experiences either of witnessing or experiencing sexual exploitation?
All of this will be within the parameters of passing questions. Young women do not have to answer any questions they do not feel comfortable. Whether or not they think that there is a need for specific counseling services for young women. If there isn't a need for counseling, what is it that young women need? Do they need anything at all, or are they doing okay without it?
All of those findings will be compiled in a final report that we'll be sharing with service providers so that they can then look at how services can become more accessible and girl-friendly.
So with the research that we're doing, we're hoping to influence either services that already exist and changing them and making them better and more appropriate for women in the communities, but also if there are gaps in services, to create and fill those gaps.
The initial key goal is to provide a safe and appropriate and effective space for young women to talk about really difficult things in a way that is not further victimizing people, and so in a way that is empowering and that they have some control over.
Throughout my experience, I've seen the benefits of having spaces for girls and young women to speak, and the more spaces that we can create for that to happen, the better.